The compound was not meant to be permanent. There are concerns the Qunari influence is no longer contained.
Was it ever? Kirkvolll has tension enough between Templar and Mage. But these Qunari, they sit like gargoyles waiting for maker knows what, and everyone goes mad around them. Nearly 4 years I've stood between fanatics. And now, this.
Don't keep us in suspense.
Leave us. Meredith at my throat, Orsino at my heels, and a city scared of heretical giants. Balance has held because the Qunari ask for nothing. Even the space in Lowtown was a gift to contain them. But now, the Arishok has requested you, by name. What did you do?
I got his attention a couple of times. I guess I impressed him, but that was years ago.
It makes no sense. And it doesn't matter. I just need them quiet. I remember how you helped my son. It seems you are meant to have influence above your station. Speak to the Arishok. Give him what he needs to keep the peace. Can you do that for Kirkvolll, Sarah Hawk?
I've seen hate for them, but I haven't heard anything major in years.
Zealots are bravest where their lies can't be argued, behind closed doors. Chantry leaders see Qunari beliefs as a challenge, not an attack. But the message gets muddled among casual adherents. I'm certainly not equipped to argue the fine points of faith.
Sounds like you'd be better off without this headache.
They will not leave, and we don't have the resources to force the issue. At least, not in a way that would leave the city intact. If they had come to conquer, I suspect they would have done so.
The Qunari usually arrive as conquerors. Odd that this has gone on so long.
Very, and I have no interest in antagonizing them. That is partially why I suffer being a messenger today. A treaty exists, and it has been honored. Although...
You have doubts?
They claim they're waiting for a second ship. But it has been 3 years. They want something else.
Any idea what I can expect?
None. Honestly, I don't think I've heard 2 direct words from the Arishok. Other than his rather deliberate phrasing of begone. If you think his asking me to notify you of this is strange, well, you would be right.
Have the years been kind to Seamus?
He is his own man. But your actions tempered him somewhat. He's not so angry at the world. I thank you for that. I may not agree with him on many things, but I am proud of what he is becoming.
I am always willing to assist.
Well, that is an attitude this city has lacked for a long time. Appease the Arishok. Take his demand and let him return to dormancy. As awkward as this has been, it is better than the alternative.
We'll need to give them answers by tomorrow, Captain.
I'll have them. Dismissed.
The Seneschal was particularly vocal.
Dismissed. You'd think the captain of the guard could requisition a Templar or 2, but no, that would be demeaning. Can't have them working for the people when eternity needs a nanny.
You had to know cleaning up this mess would be difficult.
It's not the challenge, it's the unending part. And really, I blame you. You poured money into a pot that was already full. Everything has shifted. Good job validating the fears of every anti-Ferelden and Kirkvolll.
I didn't realize I was making it worse by getting ahead.
I'm just harassing you. Although you are a bit like the center of a hurricane. You've changed fortunes for many people, not always for the better.
Sounds like you're spreading yourself pretty thin.
There are a lot of people in my charge. Someone has to look out for them.
You guard the guardsmen?
I don't turn people loose like Jevon. There's additional training, doubled patrols. Costs are up, but I've halved injuries. I'll take it and argue with Seneschal Bran later.
After the last captain, you couldn't have expected this to be easy.
At least I had the guards on my side. Once they understood, they rallied. And those who didn't weren't fit to hold the crest. Stack friends against the enemies. I don't know if I came out ahead, but it's for the better.
Grouse all you want, but the Aveline I know doesn't regret a second as captain.
They'd have to drag me out of here. And I'm sure some are lining up to try. You among them, I bet. Haven't had much time to follow you around. Not that I need to. I can trust that you at least try to do right.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
I was called to the keep on important business, Bodan.
Yes, I was hoping to catch you before you arrived. There's a gentleman waiting at the mansion. He insists on seeing you. He says his name is Dougal. Your mother thought it wise, I tell you, Messiah.
I paid Dougal years ago. Why would he be back now?
He wouldn't tell me, I'm afraid. He refused to come back another day, even after I told him repeatedly that I didn't know when you would return. He doesn't really seem like the most reputable sort, I'm afraid, even for a dwarf.
You left him alone in the mansion with Mother?
My boy Sandal is with her. But, you make a good point. I'll run back right away. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandal's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
I didn't ask you to be my manservant, Bodan.
But I owe you a debt, and after what happened in the deep roads, I have no other way to repay you. I'll leave you to your business. Don't forget about your guest. Your mother claims he was eyeing the silverware.
You! This is your fault. You and that blighter, Varric Tethras. You'll be the end of my boys.
I don't even know who you are.
Yevon, member in good standing of the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Not that it really matters to people like you.
Whatever you think I did, I can fix it.
My sons are lost in the deep roads because of stories about you. Your sodding glory and treasure.
Don't you dare blame him. We both know this was Iwan's doing.
If you want to keep your job, shut your mouth, woman.
Your boys are grown men. It was their own decision.
What exactly were they trying to do?
It may be my fault, Monsieur. I've told them all the stories about you.
You're the only one who knows where they went. They were following the path of your expedition. Please help me find them. Don't let my boys die down there.
Your sons made an expedition into the deep roads. Did anyone go with them?
They went alone, the fools. Just my 3 boys against every darkspawn in the deep roads.
Iwan is Yevon's middle son. The whole thing was his idea. Emrys and Merrin were just following his lead. The greedy bastard didn't want to hire anyone else if it meant he had to share the spoils.
Sounds familiar.
I thought coming to the surface meant I would never have to face losing my sons to the darkspawn.
I'll do everything in my power to bring your sons home.
Thank you, Messer. Those boys are my life. They entered the deep roads using the same passage you did. Please find them. I will see you rewarded for your efforts.
Isabella, you look well.
Are you talking about the flush on my cheeks? It must be the whiskey. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
The search for this thing has consumed you. Let it go.
I just thought I'd let you know that I may soon be taking you up on that offer of help.
You can count on me.
Thanks. I appreciate it. If I learn anything new, you'll be the first to hear about it.
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawk. You made it into Hightown. I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
No plans yet. I'm simply trying to look out for my mother.
I suppose after the whole business with Carver, it's a good idea to hang on to what you've got. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down. It's good to hear you're sticking around.
What would I do without my trusty dwarf? I'd cry myself to sleep without you.
Oh, don't get all teary-eyed on me, Hawk. You know I can't stand to see a human cry. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
Don't come running to me next time you pick up one of these diseases.
Isn't that the point of magic?
I don't want to know.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
The Templars are hunting you?
Not me specifically. They were just checking the refugee camps. But it's not like this place is a secret. It's only a matter of time.
We haven't talked much recently. How have you been?
Good. I just love what Knight Commander Meredith's done with the place. The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
Is that making it harder for you, with justice?
In the Fade, there is no time. Emotion rules everything. Justice doesn't know how to sit idle until the right moment to strike. And I can't say I have any greater patience. I fear what my anger has made of my friend.
You chose to merge with him. Only you can make it work.
I am trying. I have not attacked the Templars openly. I've helped the mages here as best I can, but this impasse cannot last. You're at as much risk as I am. That's what I worry. What if your money and position aren't enough? What if the Knight Commander turns on you? Everything I've done to control this. I don't care. I would drown us in blood to keep you safe.
I won't lose you to this.
Then come with me. This is your fight too. One day, the world must see us as people, not just mages. Help me make that happen.
Have you heard from your brother? Is he happy? With the Templars, I mean.
Why trouble yourself over him?
I know how hard it is to give up everything and live among strangers. I worry about him. And not just for his sake.
Our mother visits him constantly. She says he's doing well.
I'm glad. Maybe it's not what you would have wanted, but it's good he's found his path. I know he was angry when he left, but this wasn't your fault. One day he'll understand you were trying to protect him.
Maybe with time he'll forgive me.
He loves you. He just doesn't show it very well. Things will be all right. Somehow.
You've settled in nicely.
It's been hard work to get here.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
I'm listening, Aveline. What's the trouble?
A thorn in my side, inventing trouble and scaring people. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help, and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related. There's no sense to that. Can't be.
I seem to recall he had some good leads.
Then you won't mind chasing his threads. If it leads somewhere, I'll pick it up. Right now, he's just distracting my men. He's in the gallows. Do what you can. Thanks, Hawk. I'll try not to make a habit of this.
Why, hello again. Lovely home you have here. And may I say your mother makes for delightful company?
He hasn't been bothering you, has he?
I'll be less bothered when he leaves.
My apologies, Sirrah. Your son and I simply have a bit of business to conclude.
I'll leave you two alone then. Be careful.
Darling woman. A shame that she spends so much time here alone.
She fills her days making poisons. And cake. Tell me you didn't try the cake.
Good thing I just had the tea then. Allow me to get right to the point. I know all this came from Deep Road's treasure. I know you repaid me, but I think I deserve a larger share of your fortune. Fair's fair, right?
We took all the risks, and I paid you back.
You did, but look around you. You've prospered nicely. Is it fair that I only doubled my money while you got all of this? I don't think so. Give me another, 100 sovereigns, and I'll go away. If you don't, I'll make things unpleasant. Simple enough, no?
What do you mean by that?
Well, let's see. I think people would like to know just what happened to Bartrand, wouldn't they? I know he betrayed you, but nobody else does. Your partner disappears, and you end up rich.
There hasn't been a single question asked about that.
Yet. Questions could be asked. About you, about your red-headed friend in the city guard, about your sudden riches. Help me out, and my friends in the Carta will make sure the evidence I have never sees the light of day.
There's no evidence. There couldn't be.
Does it have to be real? I think it just has to raise enough questions. How badly do you want the eyes of the Templars upon you? Not very, I'll wager.
And what's going to keep you from coming back for more?
Have it your way, Hawk. We'll be seeing each other again, I'm sure.
Fenris said Daenerys left this at the mansion. Fenris hates that statue. Says it reminds him of the old god relics they had in Tevinter. Another copy of Anders' manifesto. Has he been stuffing them into all the books? Is that Isabella? Who carves that into a stairwell? Handprint was someone swinging on the chandelier. Sandal. I wonder where Varric is today. Telling stories about my exploits to anyone who will listen, most likely. Never thought I'd have my own family crest. I could have left the amulet in there and forgotten all about it. What would the witch have done then? I see Varric's taken it upon himself to add certain embellishments to my journal. Poor Prince. I told him to stay off the bed. That's Mother's room. I shouldn't intrude.
I like the doggy.
Looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe Sandal picked up some Mabari speak from our time at the hero of Ferelden's camp. Boom! Ah, there he goes again. How he makes these things, I'll never know.
I've never seen another dwarf like him. Does this run in your family?
Not at all, but Sandal isn't really my son. I found him in the deep roads when I left Orzammar for good. Raised him as my own now. Isn't that right, my boy?
I like Bodan.
He's always been this way. Always collecting things and enchanting them. Strange, I suppose.
Sandal's quite useful to have around.
That he is. Also, I've always said. Oh, Maker knows what'll happen when I'm gone. I try not to think about it.
I want some pie.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. I do hope you've been upfront with me about really owning it. I don't want to be at the mercy of that wretched Dougal. It's nice to be here, though. To feel like an Amel again.
I'm going to make the name Hawk one to be proud of in this city.
I don't doubt it. Your father would have said that, with that exact look too. I just wish we could all be together as a family one more time. I visited Carver with the Templars, and he's so proud of his new knighthood. I guess I just need to start finding you a suitable wife.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport. Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
"3 years. There's still no sign of Daenerys. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Daenerys killed him. Either way, if Daenerys is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Isn't this what you wanted?
Yes, but... Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
You start over. Isn't that what you want?
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings, the lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You don't know who you were?
Fenris was the name Daenerys bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
I might be able to help with your problems, or give you a few more.
Only a few.
The good kind.
Tempting. You're a handsome man, Hawk. Is there no one else who has your attention?
Do you see anyone else here?
I'm an escaped slave and an elf living in a borrowed mansion. None of those things bother you.
And I'm an apostate refugee. Does that bother you?
You have me there. You raise an interesting point. I'll have to consider it.
So I think spring...
You really ought to take that offer, Elf. It'd keep the coterie off your back pretty much permanently.
I don't need employment.
But it wouldn't kill you to make some friends in this city. 3 years and you're practically a ghost.
I prefer it that way.
Healthy attitude there. Forget I said anything.
I thought it would end here. Young Master Hawk destroyed Flint Company. None remain. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
My... Hawk? We were just talking about you.
Saying good things, I hope.
Hawk asked diplomatically.
You know I hate it when you do that.
Hawk muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwolл. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
I think I've met Lord Harriman.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
Is there any peaceful way to resolve this?
If you treat the Harrimans like those mercenaries, you could start a war. Go carefully, Sebastian.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
If I'm standing beside you, that should make her think twice.
Again, your interest in my plight humbles me. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
Well, look who's here.
I knew it.
It turns out we'll need to do this the hard way, Hawk. I'll get the money you owe me if I have to tear your mansion apart brick by brick.
So you thought an ambush would get you what you want?
I considered going after your mother, but I prefer the direct approach. Boys, let's make this quick. I want to be in that mansion within the hour.
Boiling in oil. Too prosaic. Trapped in a cave with hungry bears right at the spring thaw.
That lets him off too easy. Dipped in molten gold and left as a statue in the Viscount's keep.
Ooh, that's poetic.
What are you two talking about?
What to do to Bartrand when I find him.
Any suggestions?
So what do you do in that gigantic house all day?
Dance, of course.
Really?
I run from room to room, choreographing routines.
You're actually joking. Alert the Chantry. They need to put this on the calendar.
And you thought I was always serious.
Blondie, I don't mean to sound critical, but have you considered a new line of work?
Such as?
Pretty much anything. I don't think Renegade Mage has a bright future, or any retirement plan.
That's strange. The door's wide open, and not a single guard posted. This is not the Lady Harriman I remember. There is something very wrong in here.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
That sounds familiar. I don't envy anyone in this household tomorrow morning.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness.
Oh. Lower. Lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawk. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
No. The feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
Odd. When we watched you being a drunken arse, you ignored us completely.
You shall not enter.
Demons, temptresses. We must see what greater evil they were protecting. A ruin, so close to Hightown. I remember no such thing.
Starkhaven will not submit. I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
What bargain have you made?
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian!
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
Not if it meant selling out my family.
How loyal were your friends to you? Everyone has a price. Everyone wants something.
Do not listen to her.
Oh, such a pious soul, masking so much ambition. Are you so different from my lady? You yearn for the same lands, the same power.
I am the rightful heir. She is a usurper and murderer.
You swore to put aside worldly goods and ambitions, but they couldn't stop you from wanting them.
You and Lady Harriman are fighting for the same thing, aren't you?
Regaining my birthright is hardly the same as stealing it from another.
But you want it. You had resigned yourself to letting your brother rule. Yet now, that seat glitters before you. You've always wanted it. You needn't deny it any longer. All you have to do is kill anyone in your way.
Let us return to the chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul.
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it. Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
Don't blame your mother. The desire demon made this happen.
I doubt many people will be so forgiving. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you when I need you. Are you an Andrastian, Fenris?
If I say no, will you attempt to convert me?
Many elves believe in the Maker. I ask only because I wonder if your experiences soured your faith.
My faith was never strong. It's difficult for a slave to have faith in someone who abandoned them.
The Maker didn't enslave you, Fenris.
He didn't help me much either.
And yet you stand here free. Perhaps he helped you more than you think. I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the desire demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You must do what you think is right, Sebastian.
It cannot be right to lead any army to Starkhaven with such doubt in my heart. I owe you more than I can say, Hawk. I will offer my service to you here before I move on.
If you want to help me, do it because we're friends. There's no debt between us.
You have a good soul, Hawk. It was truly the Maker who led you to me.